It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
And welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Breakfast, available on iHeartRadio every morning and also on Spotify and Apple across this holiday season and wherever you get your podcast from. And we have managed to do it against all odds to get to the last day of the year. It is Saturday, the 31st day for December for 2022, and what a year of extreme highs and lows it's been. And really, we've been on that merry-go-round since COVID first introduced itself back in 2019. Yet New Year's Eve is upon us. If you are planning a night of celebration for getting to this point, enjoy your night. Why not? A lot to reflect back on. And on a personal note, we have done literally hundreds of interviews for 2022, with hundreds more probably to come in 2023. And thank you for all of your emails that have come in throughout the year. We love to hear from you, because without you, there is no podcast. And if you've got a friend or a relative who is into real estate, then please pass along our links. Shortly, we are going to be talking to some of our regulars and finding out how their highs and lows have been for 2022. And more importantly, at this point, how are they going to celebrate and see in the new year of 2023? That is all coming up in just a moment.
If you've got a question that needs answering, you can email us at myrealestatepodcast@gmail.com. We are just as addicted to property as you are. Every weekday morning from 6:30. It's the Main Centre Forecast with PRD, selling smarter every day.
All right, let's head around the country and have a look at your weather on this New Year's Eve. And first we go to Sydney. Good morning to you. Expecting some wet stuff, a shower or two and a high of 27 degrees. In Melbourne, it's going to be humid. Also a possible shower or a storm today. Expecting a top of 29 degrees. It should be mainly cloudy but dry in Brisbane today, expecting a high of 28. And in Perth today, expecting partly cloudy skies also, should be mainly dry, and your temperature today is 28 degrees.
It's your weekday real estate breakfast with news, interviews and predictions every morning on the Real Estate Podcast.
And it is New Year's, so let's go to Asti Mardiasmo. Of course, she's been a big contributor for us here on the Real Estate Breakfast, and a very good morning to you, Asti.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Pretty busy morning, and, reflecting back on some of the stories out of 2022, no doubt you've got fond memories. Actually, I'm not sure if they're fond or not, but you'll have a lot of memories for this past year, eh?
Well, the one thing that I can tell you is that the year just went. I don't even know where the year went, to be honest. I feel like we just sped through 2022, and suddenly we've got a new year ahead of us.
I agree. The Real Estate Podcast at this time last year did not exist, and we've done hundreds of podcasts since, because we're doing a podcast, as you know, every day, which is quite demanding. So
yeah.
I've managed to literally talk to most of Australia.
Yeah, I think though that last year, because, most would say that it's post-pandemic, I feel that there's a lot more events, a lot more travel, a lot more goals being kicked. It's as if, we've been asleep, and then suddenly we've all been turbocharged to make the most of 2022, just in case anything happens again and, we have another wave or another lockdown or something.
Yeah, and those numbers are starting to climb as we speak. So I think next year, anything could happen next year, right? Tomorrow, 2023, who knows what's going to happen as far as the pandemic is concerned?
And I think that's probably the worry. Because we have had our experience from, 2020, 2021, everyone was trying to make, and I think still are, to make the best of 2022 in preparation in case anything does happen in 2023. So, definitely a supercharged turbo 2022. Time just went really, really fast. And even I'm still trying to remember what is it that I did in 2022.
That's a concern, isn't it? You had yourself a fantastic New Year's Eve. How do you spend it?
So New Year's Eve has always been a little bit different each year. I have had the time where I've done, the whole big yacht sort of like party and having a look at fireworks. But this year is going to be a little bit different because my family from Indonesia is here, which means that it will be quite the celebration. They haven't been back here since COVID. And so having my sister here, my nephew, it's amazing. And we're just going to do a family thing as opposed to like the big party sort of thing.
Oh, fantastic. Well, you enjoy the family, and we will talk, no doubt, in 2023.
Of course. Who knows what the real estate market will be in 2023?
Across every state, city and town of Australia, the Real Estate Podcast.
All right, so right now let's go to somebody else who has been a fantastic contributor, particularly if you're in Melbourne, because he sort of breaks down the Melbourne auction scene, and that is Fabian Sinelli. And good morning, Fabian. Welcome to New Year's Eve. It's been a hell of a year.
Oh, it's gone quick. I thought it was going to be a slow year, but I think it's gone really quick, Craig. So good morning and good to be here again.
Yeah, so step through that. How challenging has 2022 been for you?
Oh, look, it's been very challenging, Craig. I think it's been by far the most challenging market I've ever seen in my time. And I think seeing these consecutive interest rate rises have certainly shocked not only me, but everybody else that we work with. And it's just really affected buyer and seller confidence, which has filtered through to a dull market. So it's been a very challenging year. If you thought COVID was tough, which it was, I think this year, given the fact that we were able to do street auctions and the activity was low in regards to those, I think it was hard to overcome.
And so what's a bit of a standout for you? What's probably maybe the two things when you look back, which could be the two most surprising things, the most challenging things? What's at the top of the list for you?
Well, that's a really, really good question. I think the one thing that we've struggled with this year is really trying to convince those sellers to align their new expectations with the market. A lot of the sellers that we spoke to this year, they were still stuck in that post-COVID boom market, and it was very hard for them to fathom the new market expectations about what their buyers were prepared to potentially spend on their home. So that was very hard to get through to the sellers. I think the second thing that was really hard to overcome this year as well was the lack of registered bidders for the auctions. That alone was really tough because we didn't have that competitive edge and competitive bidding activity that we saw late last year. And that was probably more so a shock to the agent and the auctioneers, just because we were so used to what we saw late last year. So having to readjust auction strategies into this year was a big challenge.
All right, so that's 2022. New Year's, how are you going to celebrate tonight?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, I'll tell you now, my drink of choice is the Suntory Lemon Lime. So I reckon there's going to be a few that go down tonight, and I'm going to be celebrating it with my lovely family, our beautiful neighbours, and my in-laws at our house, actually. So it's going to be I won't say a quiet night. It'll be quiet in terms of until the kids go to bed, but after that, it's going to be a rowdy adult affair, I reckon, afterwards.
All right. Well, enjoy yourself there in Melbourne, Fabian, and look forward to catching up in 2023.
Thank you, mate, and same goes to you. Have a wonderful new year.
All right, let's now go to Andrew Wheatley, who is a ton of information when it comes to mortgages, and it is, of course, New Year's Eve. Andrew, a very good morning to you. Welcome to New Year's Eve on the Real Estate Breakfast this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Craig. Happy to talk to you for the last time in 2022.
The last time, yeah. It's been one hell of a year, 2022. Interesting comments that are coming through this morning. So what are a couple of things that stand out for you for this year?
pretty thrilled to be a finalist for the Victorian Finance Broker of the Year again. So that was a business highlight. It was really satisfying to get a lot of new workshops up and running, just really helping a lot of people working through that first-time buyer process and upsizing, buying investment properties. That was super satisfying. And getting 2 kids through year 7 of high school, that first year of high school is always a big one. And they seem to have come through like not too scarred. They seem far better adjusted than I remember being when I was in year 7. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, well, you got them through with the COVID and all the craziness that's going on in the world. And, of course, tomorrow we're looking ahead now to 2023. Bit of downtime. How are you spending it?
Oh, you're a brave man mentioning COVID on New Year's Eve. That's in the past now. No lockdowns for 2023, please. Look, I'm at that age now where it's just spending time with family is what's going to make me really happy. So, everything I do is just around trying to spend more time with them, hang out with the kids before they get too old and don't want to hang out with me anymore. That's my big thing for 2023.
Yes, the kids, they grow up pretty quick, and if you're lucky enough to spend the time, that is something that is just invaluable. All right, Andrew, well, look forward to catching up in 2023. Enjoy the last day for 2022.
I sure will. You too, and Happy New Year to all your listeners.
Informing you every morning from 6:30 with the latest real estate property news 7 days a week, only on the Real Estate Breakfast.
Our New Year's Eve special podcast is continuing. This time we're going to catch up with the person who has been a major contributor to the Real Estate Podcast, and that is Rich Harvey. How you doing, Rich?
Yeah, very good, thanks. Well, there's going to be some celebrations tonight, I tell you. The year ticks over, 2023, here we come.
Well, I mean, it's been such an incredible year. The highs and the lows. I mean, there's been so much to take in over 2022 as we look towards tomorrow for 2023. What are some of the highlights for you for 2022?
Oh, wow. Where do I start? Well, obviously, coming out of the COVID fog, I think that's been quite a big one. I think we actually as a business had a really good year during the COVID period because everyone wanted to upgrade their home. And the market, obviously, with interest rates rising, has really been a difficult market to navigate. We've had 7 to 8 interest rate rises, whatever it is, over the year. So that's really put the brakes on. But I think one of the highlights for me was we were finalists in the National Telstra Business Awards this year.
Of course.
And that was an amazing achievement out of 24,500 businesses to actually be recognised as one of Australia's top businesses, not just buyers agents, but top businesses. So we're obviously doing something right. And that was a great pat on the back for my team. And really chuffed about that. The other highlights, I guess, look, for us, it's always a highlight is just helping people achieve their goal of home ownership. Actually people getting into their first property, their second property, their third property. That's been a great achievement for us as a team. And I've also grown my team. We've really expanded our presence right through to the Gold Coast and Brisbane and Sunshine Coast this year. Really just helping my team to kick along and reach their own individual goals. All of my team have definitely grown and love supporting them in their journey as well.
We talked on Christmas morning, and it just sort of dawns on me as we look towards 2023, there would have been a lot of people that you helped into new properties enjoying their Christmas day and, of course, now celebrating the new year at this very new property that Rich Harvey helped get them into.
Yeah, it's really nice. You occasionally get some really nice Christmas cards or messages and those. Rich, thanks so much. We're just, celebrating some champagne. Here's a toast to you, and it's just lovely to get those messages. And I can imagine people, with their little Santa hats on around the Christmas table just celebrating this year. And that makes me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. It's been great.
All right. Well, I know that you're going to be doing some boating probably over the next few days, the next week or so. So get out there, enjoy it, relax, and we'll catch you in 2023.
Yeah, Craig, wishing you a great New Year's and a Happy New Year too. Hope all the best for you in 2023.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.